She did with her mama.
That was the standard back in the day.
So you parents might want to remember that, if you're trying to teach your kid wine tasting in a responsible way, that Boone's Farm might be all right to start out on. And,
it was the standard,
yeah,
but
it was the standard.
It couldn't make it on our table today.
Right, and Grant printed out the perfect explanation. Boone's Farm, and right under it, 7% alcohol by volume.
So that's less than the Foxhorn.
Yeah, it's at Boone's Farm. This is exact wording, and this came off of a computer that was hooked up to the internet. So if it comes off of there, then you can guarantee.
It's legitimate.
Yeah, it's legit. And this is what the internet had to say about that. Boone's Farm just does not have enough alcohol per volume to be a bum wine. In a bum's mind, heavy-hitting competitors such as T-Bird, Rosie, and Wild Eye leave Boone's in the dust. You won't find empty bottles of Boone's in any rail yard. And that's true. It's more of a thing like, behind a bowling alley or something where kids hang out.
Hey, are we done decanting?
Hey, you're thinking what I was wondering, and I bet that stuff has opened up
you got to get some legs on that thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to waste it. Boy, and talk about legs.
Legs.
And if
these got legs.
Yeah, and I have
I'm a fan of Longhorn.
Yeah, people used to say that legs were something in the grape, but then I later read that really legs are nothing more than alcohol. And actually, if you notice on the glass, it isn't really legs running down. It's just one big leg.
One big leg.
Yeah. That's
one big leg wine.
I think Longhorn, it almost just seems like a pure alcohol.
Is that right now that's our front runner, but Cisco's on deck.
Yeah.
So don't
turn that channel to crack at Cisco.
Don't hit the remote. This is the big boy right here. We brought the heat on this one. So decanting.
Yeah, let's.
Because we haven't got into the MD 2020's been sitting here and we're letting it air out and we're letting it open up.
You want to
shoot it?
Shoot it?
Sure.
Is that?
Nothing like shooting good wine. That just ran down my chin.
Woo!
Woo! Now we're starting to step it up a little bit here.
All right, here we go with freshly decanted. Look at that color. Freshly decanted MD 2020. Guess first.
Now, Charles, this is what you would call. Boy, you got to really tip that up.
Yeah. And this, if you're having, say you're a guy and you're having female company, this lets them know that you know what you're talking about. I can't wait to the next female guest that comes over, and I'm gonna.
It's got a good color to it.
Yeah, I think I'll go with maybe.
Smells good too. It doesn't have that offensive volatile, as they say in the wine tasting industry, or it's not an aggressive or overpowering wine, is it?
No.
So if you have a romantic evening, you want to go with something that's got a little bit of color to it, and that doesn't overpower the girl.
And one thing I do if I'm having a girl over, and say I've cooked some scallops and butter and stuff, and I'll leave the bottle out on the table where they can look at it. That Orange Jubilee, of course. But one thing you might want to do is leave the price tag on the top. Because when you go to the bathroom or something, you can guarantee a female is going to try to see, what did he pay for this? And this baby
what
here,
did we pay for?
Boy, back in the day, you could pick these up for a couple bucks, but
what is it now?
$4.49.
She better be top. She better be top end.
Yeah.
Because I ain't spending $4.49 on just some average girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of unique, Charles.
Orange Jubilee. And Jubilee is a good...
That's not an overripe wine. That's got kind of a smooth flavor to it.
Yeah. I would use the word charming for that.
Actually, they describe this as grape wine with citrus spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Natural.
What's the alcohol content on that?
Disappointingly, 13%.
Yeah. Well...
So if you're going to bring a girl over, you're going to have to be at least at 17 or 18 if you're going to have any fun.
I think one thing, and sitting here looking and the labels on the backs of the bottles, since we're on this side of the bottles and you're seeing the wonderful labels on the front, I think one of my favorite things is how all of them's got a little something, or bottled, where it was bottled, who puts it out. Of course, Thunderbird has absolutely nothing on the back, but I like how Longhorn does nothing but just give you a big, huge warning label on the back.
That's when you know you're in the upper crust, Charles.
Yes.
If you get the big label.
Yeah.
Actually, one of these bottles has a 1-800 number, and I might be jumping. We're going to save that. There's a 1-800 number on one of those bottles, and it specifically states that it's not a wine cooler. Did you ever have wine coolers back in the day?
I think I probably tried one, and it was kind of a sissy or a girl thing. So instead of wine coolers, we usually picked up grain alcohol, which Everclear, stuff like that.
It's a shame they don't sell that.
Yeah, you can't get it in Virginia anymore. I think you can get it in North Carolina.
Here's our summation on the MD 2020. This is it's a classic. It's what we grew up on, but it's only 12% by volume. So we're going to have to set that one aside, Charles, because right now Longhorn is the front runner.
Mm-hmm. And this is wow.
So decanting didn't help this at all.
Well, we didn't. Let's do this, and this is for, I think, kind of a tribute of everybody who's out there in a rail yard somewhere today tilting one of these down. Grant, let's have this one right out of the bottle.
Can I do this one?
Sure.
All right, this is how you do it down by the rail yard. Hey, what's going on? Now that makes a difference. Wait a minute, take a hit off of my bottle. Yeah. Whoo. Yep.
That Longhorn is something. Man, it's something. And we'll just leave the tops off, let them open up a little bit. This stuff is good.
You don't think they clean their palate down by the rail yard, do they?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, we're at the point where it's time to get serious.
Yeah.
I think we've amped it up, but...
And when Grant, you'll hear the message later. I'm videotaping a couple of messages that Grant left on my machine as we built up to this wonderful episode, The Grapes of Wrath. But when you left the name, you said, I found a couple of new ones, Longhorn and Cisco. And I'd never heard of Cisco, but I could tell by the name. I don't know why, but Cisco, it sounds Western, it sounds strong, it sounds bold. It sounds like a wine that's not going to let us down.
Well, let's take a look at this. We got Wild Eye, you got Thunderbird, you got MD 2020. All good standard early wines in our day. But you know what you just said? You said names of the Old West, Cisco and Longhorn. If you're going to get after it, go west, young man. Go west.
Exactly. Go west. And before we open that baby up right there, once again, this came off of the internet. And
listen clearly.
Yeah. This and anybody who doesn't know what that is, you could have a computer at home that you maybe just keep your photos on or stuff like that. But you can now, even through your telephone service, have something like a wire run into your house and hook up to the internet. And then you just type stuff in and you can find out all kinds of things without going to the library and checking out a book on the subject. And that's what Grant did. Cisco wine.